What if I told you that the person you want to become is already inside you, but hidden under years of habits, distractions, and noise? How do you start your day? Do you hit snooze again and again? Do you check your phone before you even get out of bed? That used to be me. I felt tired, stuck, and unmotivated. I thought I was just lazy or not strong enough, but the truth was simple. My life would never change until my mornings did. That moment of realization was the beginning of everything. I decided I needed a routine that gave me power, not took it away. I started with one simple change: waking up at 5 a.m. It was hard at first. I was used to sleeping late and starting the day in a rush. But waking up early was more than just setting an alarm. It was a new way of thinking. I wasn't waking up early to be a part of a trend. I was doing it because I needed time for myself, time to be still, to plan, to grow. That first hour of my day became the most important part of my life. It was quiet, focused, and mine. I began to feel more in control. My mindset started to shift. I no longer felt like life was just happening to me. I was finally choosing how I wanted to live. But to build something new, I had to let go of the old. I started noticing all the bad habits that were holding me back. I stayed up too late. I watched too many shows. I ate junk food and skipped exercise. I scrolled through social media for hours. All of it was keeping me from becoming who I wanted to be. So I made a list. I wrote down every habit that made me feel weaker. Then I replaced each one with something better. I stopped using my phone in the morning. I went to bed earlier. I made time to exercise. These weren't huge changes, but they added up fast. Every bad habit I broke gave me more strength, more focus, more control. Next, I focused on building habits that would help me grow. I started taking cold showers. At first, it was a shock to my system, but over time, I learned to welcome the discomfort. That cold water taught me to face things I wanted to avoid. It taught me to stay calm under pressure. I also started journaling. I didn't write long pages, just one sentence each morning. Who do I want to be today? That question made me focus. It made me think about my actions. I also moved my body every day. It didn't matter if it was just stretching or a short run. The goal was to remind myself that I was strong and alive. I even tried meditation, not because I wanted peace, but because I wanted focus. I wanted to hear my own thoughts before the world could fill my head with noise. The more I followed this new routine, the stronger I felt. Not just physically, but emotionally too. There were still bad days, days when I felt sad, angry, or tired. But I didn't lose control anymore. I started responding to my emotions instead of reacting to them. I learned to pause, breathe, and choose my actions. That gave me a new kind of power. I stopped being a victim of my feelings. Instead, I started using them as signals. When I felt jealous, I asked myself why. When I felt scared, I looked at what I was avoiding. This emotional control didn't make me perfect, but it made me free. Of course, I still failed sometimes. I missed workouts, I overslept, I ate things I said I wouldn't. But instead of giving up, I started again the next day. I realized that failure was not the enemy. It was the teacher. Each mistake showed me something I needed to fix. Each setback made me stronger. I stopped being afraid of failure and started using it as fuel. I learned that success isn't about being perfect every day. It's about showing up again and again. Even after you fall, this mindset led to something powerful, an unshakable attitude. I stopped looking for motivation. Motivation is like the wind. It comes and goes. But discipline, that's like fire. You can build it, you can feed it, and it stays with you. I told myself that I didn't need to feel ready. I just needed to act. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates confidence. I started facing hard things without fear. I became someone who could be trusted by others and by myself. Discipline gave me freedom. I no longer needed to wait for the right mood or the right moment. I just did the work. I made the bed. I drank water. I exercised. I wrote in my journal. These small acts built a strong foundation. Over time, they changed how I saw myself. I was no longer someone who tried. I was someone who did. And that changed everything. Now it's your turn. You can keep living the way you always have, or you can choose something better. Start small. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. Go for a walk. Write down your thoughts. Turn off your phone. Do one thing every morning that makes you stronger. You do not need a perfect plan. You just need to begin, one change at a time. That is how you take back your life. That is how you become who you were meant to be. Let this be the day your story changes. Not tomorrow, not someday. Today. Start your morning with purpose. Start your life with intention. Everything begins now.